he is, right? I'm in San Diego area. I don't really want to travel far or have arm's length ownership of properties. I have a bit of construction background, and I'm knowledgeable enough to be able to know how to build and maintain properties. I would eventually hire a manager, but for now, I'm just looking for a way to get into the market locally if possible. My question is, how many units would it take to pencil out in this area? How much cash does it take to get into the market units and make it worthwhile? All right, so this guy's in San Diego, and I wrote back to him, and I basically said, sir, I'm sorry. We don't buy real estate in San Diego for a couple of reasons, and you really need to understand. Remember, this guy, he's got some kind of a building fetish. Hey, I've got that too, but I don't do it for, I don't go out and spend all my money investing in real estate and become a builder to be a builder. This guy wants to build something. And if you're born with a hammer in your hand or an engineer ruler in your hand, everything in life looks like a nail. It just builds something, right? The numbers don't pencil out to build stuff, as he's saying, and make a profit on it. And what he really doesn't understand is he wants to own real estate in San Diego. This is the worst state in the country to own rental real estate. First of all, the prices are so high that you can't cash flow with it. You can't get enough leverage to make it make sense. The only thing you can do is maybe break even, maybe lose a couple $100 a month, maybe more, and then hope that the property goes up in value, which in California it has over years, but that's no cash flow. You can't retire it. So there's no way, as this gentleman says, he can pencil out enough income from the properties in San Diego to retire. It's just not going to happen. Secondly, which is not even brought up in the conversation, is that San Diego and California are the worst place to own rental properties because of the laws. They are tenant-friendly, not landlord-friendly. In fact, they're not only tenant-friendly, they're friendly to squatters. The laws in California allow a squatter to go into your house. Now, I know you people in California, I know you liberals in New York, you believe this is the law of the land and this is the way it should be, that squatters, you can't kick them out. You guys are out of your mind in these states. Somebody needs to do a lobotomy on you guys, put you in a hospital, shock therapy, something, because you're out of your mind letting people go into your asset, move in, and claim it's theirs, and make that the law and protect them. But that's what they're doing. So the bottom line is the number one rule I have in investing is don't lose money. And that rule facilitates not investing in any Democratic states. I will not invest, right, in California and in New York, in Oregon or Washington, the state, or Illinois. These are all democratically held bastions of psychobabble law. In fact, Wisconsin's part of it too. I used to live in Wisconsin. It's psychobabble law. It just doesn't make any sense. They have created laws to protect the bad people from the good people and nothing to protect the good people from the bad people. So, my friends, you got to get out of those states when it comes to investing. If you want to live there, fine. Go ahead and live there. It's a beautiful place. There's no doubt about that. Yes, you pay 12% personal income tax on top of your regular income tax. That's not that much fun. A lot of people are leaving just for that reason alone. But now the laws, the business laws, the real estate laws are driving people out of there. So myself, I'd rather visit those places if I want to go see stuff, but live somewhere else where I don't live under the tyranny of that type of rules and laws. This guy, I talked to him, he's going to join up, and he's going to buy real estate in other states. He gets it, luckily for him. By the way, San Diego, I have lots of members all up and down the California coast. I have hundreds, if not thousands, of members in California. It's one of my strongest states of membership because the people out there understand how bad the real estate investing is, how difficult it is. They sign up with us so they can do real estate investing around the country. And there are many, many places. I started Lifestyles in Texas, first in Houston, then Dallas, then San Antonio, then Austin, then Corpus Christi. We spread it all over the place. But now we're all over the country. And there are many, many good places to invest that I think are now even better than Houston to invest in if you have the connections and everything. I realized this, and I started taking and opening real estate companies, real estate sales companies in states, many, many states, where we believe that you can buy this stuff and make really good profits on it. I also started buying grocery stores all over in those states because I wanted to, spread out and diversify my investments into different locations and stuff. So, the bottom line is here is that you can't do this in San Diego, sir, and he knows that. He figured it out. Let's see what this one says. I've been looking for hard money lender in my area, Pennsylvania, and in doing so, I came across a private lender that is also a real estate investor. Much of his philosophy is in line with LU, using leverage, avoiding taxes, etc. But the major difference is that he recommends using with fix and flip deals to increase available capital, and then using the proceeds from these deals to fund rental properties. In his view, this is the way to purchase more rentals more quickly if you have a limited amount of cash to get started with. If I understood correctly, he rolls the gains from the sale over to the rental property using a 1031 exchange. All right, guys. There's a lot to this. Let me look at my timetable. Okay, we got a little bit of time here. I'm going to start in on it. First of all, in theory, there's no problem with this. Why do I not teach this as the way to go? Because lifestyle is not about more work, and buying, fixing, and flipping is work. It's a job. So you got one job over here you discussed it with. Now you're going to go pick up another full-time or part-time job. That's all you're doing. You're buying, fixing, flipping. And will you come away with cash? Yes. Will you pay taxes on that? Absolutely. He says this guy's 1031ing. You can't. When you buy and flip, there is no way to 1031. You have to buy it and hold it as a rental property for at least 2 years. And then you can do a 1031. That's not what this guy is describing here. He's describing buying and flipping so you make more cash. He said buy and flip 2, make some cash, and then go buy 1 to hold is the basic theory that this guy's working by. Where I've seen that done is real estate agents. They'll find a bunch of deals. They'll buy 1 for themselves, and they'll sell 2 and get the commissions from the 2 they sell, and then have enough commissions to go and buy another one. Again, it's a job. Again, you pay taxes on the income. Again, you can't use a 1031 to get out of paying taxes on that income. So you have to understand, in lifestyles, for 35 years I've said this, it's not the money, it's the lifestyle. So you can move a little quicker, but you have to do a heck of a lot more work. Now, if you're young and you've got the hustle thing going, and you're out there bumping and bruising and grinding and buying and flipping and wholesale and doing all this stuff, okay, I love you, no problem. It's just not what I've got my clientele doing. My clientele are people that want to go out there and buy real estate and enjoy life. They want to buy it as passive investments, not as a new and second or tertiary job in their life. It's just not the same animal. And so I don't teach this because I don't want people thinking that's what they need to do. I've seen rich people with enough money to retire actually go out and try to flip something to make a few bucks. Guy's got $1 million in the bank. He goes and tries to flip a house and make $10,000. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. You could take that $1 million and double it, make it worth $2 million in about a year or two. He's out there flipping houses for $10,000, and he's paying taxes on it after he does it. Just doesn't make any sense. All right, we're going to take another short break, and we will be back with the Del Walmsley Radio Show.
Curious about today's teaching? Want to know more? Attend a free workshop. Go to lifestylesunlimited.com. More life-changing principles and moments when the Del Walmsley Radio Show continues.
Tired of living the life of quiet desperation? Want to retire but can't save fast enough? Let Del Walmsley and the team at Lifestyles Unlimited show you how.
I'm here to tell you, you got to take action now. You got 1 year, and at the end of 1 year, it's going to be just as crazy as it was.
Change your roadmap. Change your life.
So unlike when you go to retire and you think you have a pile of money and you're going to live off that pile of money and your goal becomes die before you run out of money, right?
Use real estate to create passive income.
Our goal here is just go out there and create the income stream. We don't care how big the pile is. That's irrelevant to us. Create the income stream we can live on, and then every year continue to build that wealth.
Build wealth.
You should be able to increase your income every year for the rest of your life. I have since I was 34 years old.
Get educated now at Lifestyles Unlimited. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join for $297, a 60% savings off the regular price. Text radio to 88007. How would a few $100s of passive income monthly change your life? Cover a car payment, a living expense, add a few more streams, and when all your expenses are covered, you're retired. What if you could do so in 5 years or less? Lifestyles Unlimited can show you how by investing in real estate, just like Lifestyles Unlimited member Lisa.
So we started passively. It was on vacation is when we realized we really need to take the plunge and be more active in this. Just because I'm an educator, I wanted to really know what I was doing. So it was just education on my part is really big. And I'm like, well, I could do that.
Learn how, learn now with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. And join for just $297. That's a $443 saving off the regular price of our Financial Freedom Program. That's 60% off the regular price. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. Take action today and get educated with Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
Do you have questions you'd like to ask Del? Do so by emailing your question to askdel@luinc.com. That's ask, D-E-L, @luinc.com. Del answers his email and often shares his answers on air so others grow and learn as well.
Del, I joined Lifestyles 18 months ago, and I have never understood how much to put into each deal and have invested in $700,000 in 12 different deals ranging from $50,000, $75,000, and $100,000 per deal. I'm about to come into $1.2 million, and I'm considering investing $100,000 in the next 12 deals, staying away from the smaller amounts. I wrote back to this gentleman, I have never gone over $100,000 in any passive deal I've ever gone into. I put as much as $9 million down on a deal that I did, but I own it. If I want out, I just simply sell them.
And visit our website at lifestylesunlimited.com. Keep listening. Your host, multimillionaire and national award-winning investor, Del Walmsley, continues in seconds on the Lifestyles Unlimited Radio Network.
Lifestyles Unlimited member Lisa on how our educators and mentors share their knowledge.
The whole Lifestyles Unlimited team is just wonderful, and all the people in it is basically copying what I do so you could be successful.
Lifestyles Unlimited. Over 33 years teaching the real estate retirement roadmap. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join for just $297 and save 60%. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007. Lifestyles Unlimited member Lisa appreciates having mentors who have her back.
Having the faith to move forward, and y'all have everything provided. I could call a mentor and say, hey, I don't know what to do. Someone is always there to guide you. I have backup.
Lifestyles Unlimited. Over 33 years teaching the real estate retirement roadmap. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join now for $297, a 60% savings. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
Welcome back to the Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Got a question? Call 855-497-4DEL. That's 855-497-4335. Or email Del at askdel@luinc.com. Welcome back to the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Today we're in the mailbag, and this last email is very, very, very important. I hope you will not leave during the discussion of this last segment. The email starts, Hi, Del. I often enjoy listening to your show while driving. A couple of times I've heard commercials where someone says, brokers don't want you to know.
I'd like to ask you to reconsider that statement. I'm a broker, and I do want people to know. I also want to join your community because I believe in the value and education you offer your members. Okay, so yeah, I spoke to the lady and said, yeah, please go ahead and get signed up with us. But what she's losing here, what she's missing in this, is that there really is something the brokers don't want you to know. And she isn't aware of it probably, but I'm going to explain it very clearly for you right now. What is it that brokers are lying about? Because they are flat out lying, okay? And that is what cap rates are, and that is what different types of real estate. When I started in real estate 35 years ago, there was A class, B class, C class, and D class, which we called no class at all. The reason there were different classes is because people were not willing to pay the same price for bad real estate as they were for good real estate. So in doing so, they would segment the properties up into A class, B class, C class, and say you pay more to buy A than you do to buy B. You pay more to buy B than you do to buy C, and you pay more to buy C than you do to buy D. Well, what's happened over the last 5 years to 6 years or so, the real estate brokers have completely eliminated the concept of, number one, classes of real estate, and number two, cap rates. Now, cap rates exist. There's something that occur. If you go buy something and it has a certain amount of income and you pay a certain price for it, that creates a return. Cap rate actually, the number is taking whatever your property value or whatever your income, net operating income is, without there being debt service on it. Just take the net operating income before debt service and divide it by the price, and that's your cap rate. Right? Now, on selling, you got to reverse that issue. Take whatever your net income is and then divide it by a cap rate. So I want to ask you a question. And this is what no one can answer for me. Brokers just start crying when I bring this up. They don't know what to say. So listen carefully. If I have a property that creates $100,000 worth of income and I sell it for $1 million, that's a 10 cap rate. All you have to do is divide the 100,000 by 0.1, which is 10%, and it's worth $1 million, right? So there is a direct correlation between the price I pay and the income. Now, if, on the other hand, I pay $2 million for that same piece of property, I'm now at a 5 cap rate. You take the 100,000 divide by 0.05, and it's $2 million. Now, that's A class, and the bottom one's a D class. And A, B, C fall in there somewhere in between the two. Now, here's the part the brokers won't tell you the truth about. They're lying to you, all right? If I were to ask you, as a normal human being, I've got $100,000 worth of income, but the property is brand new, or the property is 50, 60 years old, would you be willing to pay me more for a property that's brand new than the property that is 50, 60 years old? And the answer should be yes, of course I would. Well, there you go. If it's brand new, it's a Class A, and you're paying double what you would pay to buy the same property as a Class D, right? Now I ask you again, $100,000 worth of income. What if I had a property that was completely renovated? Maybe it's the same age, 50 years old on the other one. But one of them is completely renovated, all new siding, all new roof, all new air conditioners, all new everything, right? Would you pay me more for that than the one that is 50, 60 years old with no renovation? And the answer should be yes. Would you pay as much as a brand new property? No. But would you pay way more than the property that's not renovated? Yes. And therein lies a Class B or Class C property in good condition. Now, let's say that property has just been maintained but not totally renovated. Well, that puts it in the center of the list, which would probably be a Class C. So non-renovated 50, 60-year-old property is a Class D and should sell for 1 cap rate. And a Class C is a property that's 50, 60 years old that's not been renovated but maintained, whereas the D hasn't been maintained. It's just a piece of garbage, right? The C's been maintained, but it's 50, 60 years old. A Class B is that same property that we went in and completely replaced everything. All new countertops, all new backsplashes, all new cabinets, all new air conditioners, all new roof, all new driveway, put in a new playground, put in a dog park, resurface the swimming pool, new decks, new lawn furniture, all new appliances, all new air conditioners. Everything is brand new. It's not an A. It's not brand new, but it is now a B, and should sell for more than that C by a lot, but not as much as an A that's brand new. Now, this is very obvious that this is true, but brokers made it all disappear, and they started selling dumb people, unsophisticated syndicators, people that just heard about this on the internet, saw guys like Grant Cardone out there bragging how much money he's making, and without any education, without any information at all, they just went out and started buying real estate. And so anything they saw, the brokers were saying, well, this sells for a 4 cap rate.
Portions of our programming have been pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network, WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna, flagship station for MTSU Sports. Courthouse clock time, 12 o'clock.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Kevin Wyatt.
NFL news, the league has announced that the draft will be held in Pittsburgh for the 2026 season. That follows Green Bay, which will host the draft in next year's offseason. Other NFL news, Brandon Ayuk not showing up to OTAs because he's still waiting on a new contract from the San Francisco 49ers. Major League Baseball, Orioles and Cardinals resuming a game that was suspended in the 6th inning last night due to rain. It was tied at 1, but right now St. Louis ahead in the 8th inning, 3-1. They've got a second game coming up at 1 o'clock Eastern time, but the start time of that game dependent on when this current one will end. A couple of games set to get going at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Twins will face the Nationals over in the nation's capital, as well as the Mets and Guardians. They will square off over in Cleveland.
A Heart for Healing.
When life challenges become a torrential flood, there are local doctors, nurses, and medical technicians who help you maneuver the swift waters.
Gordon Ferguson, President and CEO of St. Thomas Rutherford Hospital.
Physical therapist Gary Suela at Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford Hospital is our Heart for Healing honoree. He works with patients who've undergone surgery and helps them build back their strength. A listener writes, I was still feeling sedated after a procedure when this man came in and explained that we were going to begin a series of exercises. I was not at my best, but Gary Suela convinced me that it was the thing to do. And he was right. Now I feel much better. Physical therapist Gary Suela at Ascension St. Thomas Rutherford Hospital is our Heart for Healing honoree and receives dinner for 2 at the fabulous Alley on Main Street restaurant.
For more than 36 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been proud to serve communities all across Tennessee. As an independent local bank, we provide banking products competitive with large banks, but delivered with personalized local service. Wilson Bank & Trust has been community-focused since 1987 and looks forward to many more. Discover the power of local community banking that truly makes a difference. Give us a call or come on by any of our local 30 locations or visit wilsonbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
What makes Murfreesboro so vibrant? Is it regular coffee dates on Main Street? Checking in on neighbors to be sure everyone's safe? Or cheering on your favorite team? At Murfreesboro Medical Clinic, we believe it's all of these and more. The hometown medical group that genuinely cares. We deliver quality primary and specialty medical care in our community. And as the official medical group of the MTSU Athletics, we keep students and staff healthy too. Learn more at mmclinic.com or call 615-893-4480 today.
This is a paid legal ad.
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day. For more than 30 years, my team and I have worked hard to help injured people throughout Middle Tennessee. Over that time, we've helped thousands of people get the legal help they need when they've needed it the most. And if we're not able to help or aren't the right lawyer for you, we'll do the best to point you in the right direction. If you've been injured, call the Law Offices of John Day for a free consultation. And remember, there's no fee unless we win your case.
Shop your favorites at Dillard's, JCPenney, Rue 21, Hot Topic, and more. Grab a bite at Crab Fever, Sam's Sports Grill, Olive Garden, or Miller's Ale House. With more than 60 retailers, you're sure to find something that you'll love at Stones River Town Center. Find them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for style tips, upcoming events, and sales information. Stones River Town Center, off Old Fort Parkway in Murfreesboro. Shopping centered on you. Online at shopstonesriver.com.
Dr. Automotive is the cure for your car. Brothers Danny and Randy Brewer have been providing Rutherford County with ASE certified auto repair for nearly 20 years. You'll receive courteous and friendly customer service every time. Why? Because we grew up here and you are our neighbors. Foreign and domestic auto repair and maintenance on Hazelwood Drive in Smyrna, just off I-24. SmyrnaAutorepair.com, 615-220-0971. Just ask for Danny.
From the Fox Sports Studios.
Few scattered showers and storms possible late this afternoon. Mostly cloudy, high of 85. Tonight, chance for rain and storms, cloudy, a low near 66. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS.
Currently, it's 78.
WGNS. Listen to us anywhere. News Radio WGNS is Rutherford County's place to talk. 100.5, 101.9, 1450. Online and on your phone at WGNSradio.com.
Spring Fling HQ on News Radio WGNS is brought to you in part by Toots Good Food and Fun.
It is time for our coverage of Spring Fling 31 from Spring Fling HQ. Glad to have you with us on the TSSAA network and on the website TSSAAsports.com. Chip Walters with you. Glad to have you with us. We're here until 6 o'clock today with continuing coverage all across the venues here in Rutherford County. And this hour of Spring Fling HQ is brought to you by Zaxby's, speaking of lunchtime, and their 4 convenient Murfreesboro locations. Zaxby's is a proud sponsor of TSSAA. Stop by any of the 4 Murfreesboro locations after the games for their saucy, flavorful, hand-breaded chicken fingers, wings, salads, sandwiches, and more. So also glad to have our listeners on WGNS Radio in Murfreesboro who will be with us. They just completed one softball game, and they'll have more live action coming as well. And David Lambert is one of our correspondents. David Lambert, Dan Hughes, and Braden McPherson will be with me throughout the day. And time for our baseball segment to I would say get it kicked off, but there are no kickoffs in baseball, David.
That's what you reminded me of yesterday.
So it will be our first pitch of the day, and that is with what is going on in baseball. And kind of going back to last night, we had a game moved from Smyrna over to Blackman due to no lights working at Smyrna at the time, and got that one finished, and here we are.
Yeah, they didn't get finished till after 11:30 last night, and Greenville actually came out on top on that game. They defeated Signal Mountain 4-1 after being relocated from Smyrna over to Blackman.
Yep.
They had to wait until the game at Blackman was finished before they could even start their game, which was almost 10 o'clock, I guess.
One of the words we learned during COVID was pivot, and that's what they had to do last night.
Yeah, and don't move the pivot foot when you move.
That's correct.
So I tell you what, let's start with just a rundown of the games that are going on right now.
All right, and we're right now we've got elimination games going on.
Exactly, and there's quite a bit of action going on, and I'll start down through there, and then we can update those from the scoreboard as we come to them. So starting with Class 1A, it was Union City and South Pittsburgh squaring off, and that game is being played at Eagleville. It is an elimination game, and South Pittsburgh has the upper hand right now over Union City by a score of 6-2, and that game now has become final.
Yep, it has gone final out at Eagleville, so Union City has been eliminated. South Pittsburgh stays alive.
And in the second game in 1A, it also has gone final. McKenzie has defeated Halls and eliminating the Red Devils by by the score of 3-1. That game was played over at Rockvale.
Yep, that is Halls of West Tennessee, not Knox Halls.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So Halls High School is eliminated. McKenzie stays alive.
Yeah, so South Pittsburgh now will play the loser of the 12:30 game between Oakdale and Eagleville in the top of that bracket. And in the bottom of that bracket, McKenzie will play the loser of the University School of Johnson City in Gordonsville. So that sort of completes the bracket there for Class 1A in the state tournament today. And then at 5 o'clock, all the games played at 5 o'clock will all be elimination games. I think that's correct.
Yes, I think you're correct on that. You do have winners bracket games coming, as you mentioned, at 12:30. And, at 12:30 in Class A. You do have losers bracket games at 5 o'clock, both in Eagleville and Rockvale in Class A. So that's where we stand. Winners there staying alive, again, South Pittsburgh and McKenzie. So congratulations to them.
Absolutely. Class 2A, moving over to Riverdale, White House, Heritage, and Alcoa were actually tied at one point, and it stayed that way for a couple of innings. But in the top of the ninth, White House Heritage has actually scored 5 runs already in the top of the ninth, and they've taken a 9-4 lead there over the Tornadoes.
Yep, they have. It was tied, I think, 4-4 after 7, and White House Heritage has knocked in. Has exploded for 5 runs in the top of the ninth, and they've got themselves in good shape. Still batting right now in the top of the ninth out at Riverdale High School, out at W.T. Jones Field.
Yeah, the other game in 2A at Stewarts Creek is Sweetwater and Smith County. They have knotted their game up at 8-8. That game is in the top of the 7th, and boy, I tell you, I believe that one right there is going to come down to the wire also.
Well, it already has, and so 8-8. We'll see if they're going to get that done in regulation, or if extras are in our future out at Stewarts Creek between Sweetwater and Smith County. Tied at 8, and again in an elimination game there.
Moving over to 3A, Gibbs has jumped on top of White House 11-9 now. That game is in the top of the 6th, being played at Blackman. And the other one featuring one of the 2 teams from last night that had to play the late game, also in 3A. Signal Mountain lost today and has been eliminated. Station Camp defeated them by a score of 7-6. So Station Camp moves on.
Yep.
And let's see, they'll be playing the loser of the South Gibson Greenville game in 3A later on today at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, Station Camp out of Sumner County staying alive. Signal Mountain out of Southeast Tennessee has been eliminated in Class 3A.
And in 4A, I went over and watched a little bit of that game. It's close by headquarters here. Bradley Central has fallen behind the Oak Ridge Wildcats 8-3. The game is in the top of the 7th. I had an opportunity to talk to a couple of the assistant coaches, one from each team, and we'll get to that interview maybe later on in the next segment.
Good deal.
In 4A at Siegel, Beach blanked Clarksville today 7-0, eliminating Clarksville from the competition this week.
Yeah, Clarksville lost to Siegel last night, and then Beach, it's easy to tell a lot of times when teams run out of pitching, and right now Clarksville ran out of pitching, and the Wildcats go home, the Buccaneers stay alive.
Yeah, so Beach will be taking on the loser of the Farragut-Siegel game that will start at 12:30 today in Class 4A.
That's correct, and then you've got another extra inning game going on over at Middle Tennessee Christian School.
Oh, my goodness gracious. And what a game it is. Providence Academy now has jumped into a 1-run lead over Boyd Buchanan 4-3. It's bottom of the 8th, and we're watching to see how that game ends up. And then in Division II AA at Wilson Central, Christian Brothers has defeated CPA by a score of 6-2. So Christian Brothers will be up to take on the loser of the Briarcrest Baylor game that will start at 12:30.
Yep.
That actually finishes out all of the brackets in the elimination games today.
Yeah, it does. That gets us to where we are. And if you can, go back through, again, real quick, if you start back at Class A, and let's go through the winners bracket games that we have coming up and the game times.
Okay, Class 1A, Oakdale takes on Eagleville at Eagleville. That's at 12:30. All these games start at 12:30. University School Johnson City will be playing Gordonsville at Rockvale. If you're a 2A fan, Loretto will be playing Milan at Riverdale at 12:30. Huntington and Riverside square off at Stewarts Creek. That's in the winners bracket. Class 3A will see Tullahoma taking on Dyer County at Blackman. And the other game in 3A is South Gibson versus Greenville at Smyrna, and they'll be playing that game later on this afternoon at 12:30. Class 4A, Nolensville versus Arlington at Oakland, and then Siegel and Farragut at Siegel will play this afternoon. And in Division II, the single A game is Columbia Academy versus Goodpasture at MTCS, and Division II 2A will see Briarcrest taking on Baylor, and that game is over at Wilson Central.
Yeah, so there you have, that is a very comprehensive wrap-up of where we are in baseball right now. And again, we're keeping an eye on the sky as well as we've